What's going on, my dudes? Chen's Leo11 here, and welcome back to another episode in the A to Z series. In today, we got one of my favourite mid laners of all time. Definitely my favourite melee mid laner. We have Fizz. So again, we're going to do this post-com. This is a pretty good game, not going to lie. Very fun game. And I think a really good game to show you what Fizz is good at. And some good examples of getting in and out of fights and waiting your time to shine as Fizz. Because at the end of the day, you are an assassin. And you have a lot of upfront burst damage. So this is a really, I think, good game to go through all of his abilities and show what he's good at. So if you're new here, drop the subscribe button. Slap the subscribe button, rather. We are going through every single champion in League of Legends and giving you a beginner's guide to the champion. So this is a beginner's guide to Fizz, and we're going to be showing you how to play Fizz Mid for beginners. And we're going to start off, if you haven't seen these videos, with the runes. We're going to be going over the build. But most importantly, the abilities, because the build and the runes change, and sometimes it's up to personal preference. And Fizz is one of those champions that has a little bit of variety. But for this game, we have gone Electrocute, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, typical burst runes, and then we've gone Triumph and Coup for the secondary in the Precision Tree. So we are up against an Aurelia this game. I would have shown the runes up on the screen so you can get a better look. I think I took MR. You probably should have taken Armor against Aurelia, but that's okay. So, the early game, Fizz is very strong early. But his trading potential is matched by Aurelia in this particular lane. He's good into like those immobile mages, like Xerath and that. That way you can get on top of them, burst them out, and then just destroy them and get out of there. Aurelia is a little bit more of a bruiser, so it's a bit of a extended fight when she can stack up her Conqueror. So it's going to be a bit tricky. We're going to have to play it well if we're going to have to beat her. But yeah, making sure we trade when we can, picking up as many minions as we can. But other than that, guys, you want to start off with your E. And you see me using it in the lane to pick up minions when I have to. But most importantly, trying to use it also in trades is very key. But we will go through all the abilities. That way you know exactly what I'm talking about. So there, if you didn't know, when you jump up on your trident, you become invulnerable. So I can dodge Aurelia's stun and deal damage to her. So she doesn't stun me, I do damage to her. But a little bit of a tough matchup. And I made the classification, or like the... You need to do this a lot when you play League of Legends. You need to understand what your win condition is. My win condition, unless the Aurelia is like super bad and I get ahead early, I used my Q to get out of the range of her stun. We get her flash there and we ignite. We probably could have flashed and killed her, but that's okay. We need to understand that we might not be able to snowball through mid lane because she's a little bit tankier and she can actually 1v1 us pretty hard if I'm not careful, if I misplay. So we might have to do what Fizz is really good at, all assassins, is roaming. And you want to have a look at the enemy team, and they got a Jhin who's quite immobile. So we're going to be trying to look to roam bottom a lot and trying to shut down the enemy jungle as well. So that's basically what you want to do when you play mid lane, especially assassins. But first, we're going to go through Fizz's passive. So Fizz's passive is called Nimble Fighter. Fizz is permanently ghosted. And if you don't know what ghosted means, it means you can travel through minions and like champions and units unimpeded. So if I don't know if I show it perfectly in this example here, but I can run straight through minions without getting creep blocked. Boom, as we land a nice E there. So that is a super... You might not notice it, but that's actually... so you can see there, I walk straight through that cannon there. That's actually an insanely useful tool. There you go, walking through my caster minions there. Because if you're not used to, like, being... Like, sometimes you can just get creep blocked, right? And that's a pain in the ass. But that doesn't happen on Fizz. And it's what makes him feel smooth. And you might not know why he feels smooth, but that is the reason. Another thing about his passive is that you just take reduced damage from all income sources of pre-mitigated damage. Pre-mitigated means before your armor and magic resistance come into play. That's all it means. So it makes Fizz a little bit more tanky the more AP you have, which is absolutely disgusting because you want to be building AP because you're an AP assassin, right? So it's a pretty straightforward passive, nothing too special, but it is very, very important that you understand, like especially the ghosted thing. The mitigation, like the reduced damage, is something you don't need to think about. It's just happening in the background. It's just like added stats. So just making sure we're dodging Aurelia's stuns, getting as much of a trade on her as we can. when she oversteps. But we're going to try and get as much farm as we can. Unfortunately, this game was a pretty average game for farming. I spent a lot of time roaming and getting kills, and I fell a little bit behind on farm, and I didn't hit the side lanes as hard as I could. But yeah, if any of you guys love Fizz and play a lot of Fizz, let me know in the comments section what do you think we could have done better this game. But as I say with all these videos, the gameplay isn't super important. What's important is to go through the abilities and some gameplay of the champion. So if you're new to the champion or League of Legends in general, you can have a bit of a basic understanding of Fizz. So we went back and got a Dark Seal. I want to quickly point that out to you. So we've grabbed the Dark Seal. The Dark Seal synergizes with our Corrupting Pot start, which is what I would have put on the screen at the beginning of the video. Start Corrupting Pot. So we are at a little bit of an item disadvantage right now, so it's not nice for us to trade because she has the Vampiric Scepter. So just always want to be pushing tab when you're in game, having a look. Does the enemy team have an item advantage of us, the enemy champion or the laner? Do they have a level advantage of us? And you want to try and work that into whether you think you should be going in for a trade or not. Okay, so that's Fizz's passive. Quick explanation, very simple. The next ability we're going to go through is Fizz's Q. Fizz's Q is called Urgent Strike. Okay, as we're looking to get the roam going, unfortunately it wasn't a good time to roam. Always when you're playing mid lane, before I quickly mention the Q, if you duck out of vision, you cause panic on the enemy team. In watching these replays, I can actually see if the enemy team was ping missing. So if I notice that, I'll point it out to you. But if not, you can pay attention yourself. But the Q, basically it's an active, and you dash a fixed distance. That's important. Fixed distance, not a... Like, it's always the same distance. So if the minion or the enemy target you're casting your Q on is right next to you, you dash through it to a fixed distance. Now, that actually makes the ability better, in my opinion, if you know how to use it correctly. You can go in for a trade on the Aurelia right now and then Q right on top of it, Q backwards towards your tower and kind of use it as an escape. I might do it here. No, I don't. I've used it a couple times to dodge her stun as well. So you basically dash a fixed distance. Are you dealing magical damage? Hang on, we're going for a bit of a trade here. Order here. See how there I queued straight through her there. Fixed distance. I used it to disengage, and you can use it like it's your last proc or electrocute if you, you know, auto W reset, and then you can queue straight through out them. Okay. So yeah, that's all it is, right? So you just point and click, and you dash. So that's very simple. I use it to close down gaps, and I use it to disengage with trades. So we get a little bit of a gank here. My jungler is deciding to come in as well. I am low. We cop an ultimate from the Aurelia and we die. So a little bit of a misplay. I'm behind in lane essentially, but we're gonna turn this game around. I promise. Not the best display. It's hard to play into an Aurelia because she's not exactly a good matchup for Fizz. I'll say that. Okay, it's not an immobile mage where you can just bully. But that's okay. What do we pick up there? We pick up our revolver. So we're going to be going Proto Belt into Lichbane. And we buy that Dark Seal just in case we start to go crazy in Snowball. And then you can upgrade that to a Magi's. Which, spoiler, we might upgrade this game. I have a bit of a pod game for you guys. So that's all the Q does. It's very simple. The Q also applies on-hit effects. That's something to keep in mind. You don't like, especially with when you build your Sheen as a part of your Lichbane. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're just making sure we can kind of keep up as much as we can in the lane because we're already pretty far behind here. We're down quite a bit of CS, but don't get disheartened when you play an assassin like this. You just need to keep calm and think about what you should be doing in order to get back in the game. And for us in this game, it's going to be trying to get other lanes fed or get ourselves fed by roaming because the Aurelia already is proving to be a little bit difficult to deal with. So we're going to shove out, we're going to head backwards, we're going to start our roam to the bot side just to see what's going on. Obviously, we don't have vision of them, so we're just going to pop the scrying off, get vision. I had a feeling they'd be on Dragon. Just pop it over to see what we can see. But our next ability we're going to go through is the W. It's called Seastone Trident, and there's the ultimate going in. Did we get anything with it? I go in there. Unfortunately, I screw that up. I think I get the jungle with my flash. Sorry, my ignite. And at this point, my cooldown reduction isn't high enough for me to escape back over the wall. The flash was a little bit Iron 4, but let's ignore that. But later on in the game, what I just did there becomes extremely easy because of the CDR you managed to pick up. And a lot of Fizz 1 tricks will prioritize CDR over damage. So they'll just go Fiendish Codex as a part of your Zhonya's, which you'll pick up eventually. And they'll go... they'll rush CDR items as much as they can. That way, they take the scaling CDR runes in the 3 at the bottom. The runes, if you know what I'm talking about. That way they can get their E cooldown to such a low level, so it will become clear when I explain my E that they can use it to get in and out of fights really quickly. But we go on the full damage build, so you're a little bit slow to go to start off with, but you ramp up super hard. Okay, so the W. So you see me using it here, right? It's all it is it empowers your next auto attack. Okay? What's important about it is it deals on-hit magic damage, okay? And the auto attack becomes unstoppable. It has a little bit extra range. So the W auto attack, after you push W, you get like this bonus auto attack. If you kill the enemy target with your W, the cooldown is refunded to 1 second. And it refunds all the mana. So you see me here in this game using it more or less every single time to use it to grab minions. If you miss a minion, it's kind of like Annie's Q, which in the previous video we went through. It's your farming tool. So if a minion's half health, you can kind of like auto and then W, and because W is an auto attack reset, it resets your auto attack animation. So you go auto W. It's like it's the best feeling in the world. Makes playing Fizz. I'm just trying to see if I can catch the Garen. He got out too slow there. It makes playing Fizz honestly satisfying. That auto W is seriously a great feeling when you get it right. Auto W Q, auto W. Use your E to dodge their CC or their damage. It's a very... Mate, Fizz has a lot of outplay potential, and he's another champion that's fun to play because of that. Because champions that... So we get... Let's see if we can show an example of the auto W. So there, I used my W there to secure that minion. And I got the I got the mana and the CS timer there. So that was there. Auto W. And that W, because it's your second auto attack was your W auto attack, it refunds this cooldown and the mana. So it's super useful for farming and trades. Because if you auto WQ, that's how you get your electrocute proc really quickly. Make sure we're using our E to dodge their CC. Beautiful. She takes a tower shot. We get a couple autos in. And we proc our electrocute. But you can see here, once she gets her Conqueror and she stacks up her passive, it's kind of hard to 1v1 her. So we kind of need to just piece the lane and try and look for other advantages elsewhere. So that is the W. It's a super fun ability to use. It's your bread and butter on Fizz. It's your second max. You want to be maxing your E first, then your W. So she ultis us on the tower, and look at this. We were able to survive for so long because of our E there, and we were able to trade kills with our Ignite getting the kill there. So again, not the best start on this game. We are, what, 2 and 3. We managed picking up some kills. We're down a lot of farm. So we're going to have to come back pretty hard in this game to make it work. But yeah, so far the champion is very easy to understand, and he's hard to execute. And there are a couple champions like this, but Fizz is one of those champions where I think you should learn to play him, because I think he's fun, and I think he'll teach you a lot about trying to like weave in auto attacks in your abilities. I mentioned that in the last video, and it's amazing. So one thing I want to mention with your W is if you don't like last hit a minion or an enemy with your W, for the next 5 seconds, your basic attacks do extra damage. So this is going to be important. So when you auto W, your W, because you're not going to auto W, like if you're auto Wing a champion, right? An enemy champion, your W is not going to kill that champion unless they're super low. So it's not going to refund the mana and the cooldown, but it is going to turn your auto attacks into basically give them like a steroid for the next 5 seconds. So your auto attacks do a lot more damage. It doesn't kind of play in with the minions too much until... unless you screw up and you miss the minion, like you don't CS it. So here we're just trying to get as much CS as we can. We screwed up there. I thought my E could one-shot the back wave. We had to use our Proto Belt, which is our first buy. Boots too. You can go Lucidity Boots. That's the item I was thinking of before to rush that CDR. But we're going to go Sork Pen Boots. We're going to do some flat Magic Pen and absolutely shred through these guys. So yeah, our team managed to pick up a Dragon, which was super good. Nice pressure from our jungler. Again, we're going to shove out mid lane and look to have a look at the map. So right now, the enemy team is sieging our top side, so I should probably back and try and sort that out. I remember saying, fuck's sake, these bloody minions cancel my back, so I'm going to have to just shove out this another wave because I don't want to miss any CS. So we're going to kind of lose a little bit top side, but it's okay. Q through that cannon to guarantee we get the CS. Because if you guys are new to watching this channel, I miss a shitload of CS because I'm boosted. Okay, the next ability is Fizz's E. Fizz's E is his first max, and it is mental. It's such a great ability. It's actually busted if you understand how it works. Fizz, when you push your E, it's like you kind of like dash onto your trident, and you stand on top of your trident for a moment, and then you can recast your E, and you come back down. Okay, you can go up a certain direction and come back down the same direction or a different direction. You don't have to always stay down, and you can stay on the trident for as long as you want, and then you come down like by itself. So let's see if we can get a kill here. So we're gonna E. We use E to close the gap. And this is what I mean, guys. They got a squishy bot lane, so we should be trying to push our advantage in the bot lane. So we pick up the pike. We're gonna flash E, and that was the E there. So I used the E to get on my trident, and then used it again to close the gap. I noticed here that the Echo is level 9 and I'm level 11, so I could probably 1v1 him. Even though we're behind in this lane, because we play mid lane and we're in a solo lane, we are generally tend to be up in XP on some enemies. So we're just going to chase the Echo into their team. Make sure we dodge his W, if you remember from my Echo video. Alright, so let's have a look here. Bang. Excellent. Nice kill from the 80 carry there. We're trying to chase the Echo as much as we can, but Echo is another one of those slippery champions. But if you think Echo is slippery, Fizz is even more slippery. So we're going to explain the E now properly. As we watch this team fight, Kane goes in, MF gets picked at the backside. She's going to die, unfortunately. So yeah, I was about to go in with my E, and then I decided, no, I'm going to pull back out. So that's one of the things you can do with your E. And while you're on top of your trident, you're invulnerable. Like, you're invulnerable. You can't take damage. You're immune to everything. Which is what makes Fizz disgusting. So it's hard here. My target selection is a little bit messy. I decided to just go on the pike and get a kill for myself. But we are going to end up falling to the Echo, giving him a triple kill, which is a bit scary because Echo can snowball so hard. And I end up going on a rampage, even though we had a slow start. So we end up being 5-4. We are losing a little bit mid lane to get all that gold. But it allowed me to pick up my Sheen. So once you get your Sheen, you're super strong as well after you get the Proto Belt. Because it gives you everything you need. It gives you damage with your auto attacks, because you know you're going to be using your W, which will proc your Sheen, and then the auto attack as well. Plus the Proto Belt gives CDR and stuff like that. The Lich Bane also gives CDR. It's going to be super good for Fizz. So let's quickly read out the ability. So you vault on top of your trident in a target direction. This is the E for 0.25 seconds, and while you balance on that trident, you can you gain the ability while on top of your trident to recast the ability and move it to a new position. So I'm going to show you here. So right there, I E'd, and then I E'd again straight away. So you can sit on top of your trident for a little bit, or you can use it immediately. I use it immediately, Proto Belt into the wall for the lols. I use it immediately, like most of the time, to close the gap like I did there. And then I queued towards the Fizz, but he dashed away. That's why we didn't catch him. But we ended up picking up the shutdown, which is super good. Whoa, we get hooked there from the pike. Nice ultimate for myself. Not going to do well there. I think my E was on cooldown. I could have just dodged his stun. So yeah, and then you can recast your E. It's a little bit of a difficult ability to read out, but it's easy to use once you play around with Fizz. So I recommend giving him a go, playing around with the E. It does AoE damage when you come down on the vault, which is what you saw there. I managed to hit the pike and the Garen there. Okay, so when you come down, you do magic damage and you slow them for 2 seconds. Okay? So once you recast your E, okay, so that right there was not a recast. I sat on top of my trident and let it come down naturally. If you use your E again, it's called Trickster. It's called Playful, then Trickster. you dismount and you dash to the new target location and you deal magic damage. But it has a smaller radius when you recast it a second time. And it does not apply the slow. Okay, that's the difference. So if you jump up on your trident and you don't move and you let it come back down after the time, it'll slow. If you recast it, the range of the damage is a little bit smaller. So right there I recast it, so the range of damage was a little bit smaller. We're gonna fall here again, which is a little bit unfortunate. What are we, 7 and 5 here? Don't worry, I think we turn this game around. Don't you worry, guys. But yeah, again, the gameplay isn't super important. We're trying to get through the ability so you understand what's going on. So that's super important. If you jump on your trident, let it come down naturally. You'll deal damage in a larger radius and you'll slow. If you recast it, which 99% of the time you do, you will do like the same damage, but it's in a smaller area, and it won't slow. Most of the time you use your E for the invulnerability. That's what makes Fizz extremely disgusting. Someone's about to use a key ability on you, you just E it. You're about to take a tower shot, you just E the tower shot. Fizz is extremely good at diving the tower because of this E. If the tower is about to kill you, you push E. You go on your trident, the tower shot, it disappears. You don't take damage. It's like a Zhonya's built in on a 5-second cooldown. It's disgusting. That's why you really want to rush CDR when you play Fizz, because of the E ability, essentially. Plus, the bonus, you get a nice CDR on your ultimate, which is the next ability we're going to be going through, which is called Chum the Waters. Basically, Fizz throws out a big fish. You've seen me throw it out a couple times. If the fish, and it attracts a shark that comes out of the ground and bites everything. There's some wall, I forgot to mention, there's some walls you can jump over as Fizz. That one there's a little bit too chunky like myself, so we couldn't quite get over it. So that wall in the middle there, here, you can jump over with your E. It's just something you need to practice, because there's certain corners of things like here you can get over with your E, and you can extend the range of your E with a flash as well, which is something that's a little bit more advanced. You don't necessarily need to know that. Get a few games on Fizz so you know what's going on before you start to learn those nuanced and advanced techniques. So let's have a look here. Unfortunately, I'm going to slow the Garen while he's queuing. We're going to see. We don't have a ward in there. Beautiful, got a ward now. We're trying to just hold the line here, because in my head, honestly, I thought this game is over. Look at the gold deficit. So I was just trying to honestly get myself as many kills as I could to give myself some damage, because I'm going to need to do some magical things in these team fights to be able to win this game, which is what we're going to try and do. So let's continue explaining the ultimate. I want a nice example of me using it. But basically, you throw out a fish. Let's have a look if I use it here. Here's the Zhonya's coming out, or the stopwatch. We flash away. This is what makes Fizz amazing, because you have so much peel. Nice, we kill the Garen there. We ignite him, and then we land on top of him with our E. Did I flash there? Whoever flashed, it was terrible. And nice, we finish off with our Q there. So that was the ultimate. You saw that shark come out of the ground. So basically, you throw this fish out, and it attracts a shark. Now, the further you throw the the fish, the more damage the shark does when it comes out. And there's 3 different tiers. There's the gummy shark, the chomper shark, or the gigaloon, I think it's called. So the further out, and if you play with ranged indicators on, you'll be able to see the rings. It's basically, the further you throw it, the higher risk, because it's harder to hit, obviously, because it's further out, the more damage it does. Sometimes it's just good to just throw it in melee range, just to guarantee it hits. Because if it hits an enemy, it latches onto that enemy, the fish. It goes around them, and then the shark will come up and bite the enemy after a small amount of time. If you miss, the fish will maintain on a spot on the ground, and then it'll come up and bite. And if there are enemies in that zone, they'll take the damage. So it's a good zoning tool as well. But more or less, most of the time, you want to try and lock it onto an enemy. So it does magic damage, obviously. It knocks up enemies in the air, and it knocks them back. When the shark comes up, it bites and slows them as well. And the larger the shark, the more damage it does. The slow is bigger, and the eruption and the knockback distance is more. So again, it's prioritizing. It's rewarding you for a longer shark throw. I wish the shark was a little bit more obvious what type of shark it was. Like if it was like red or something when it's the maximum shark, and like yellow when it's the medium one, and green if it's the small one. Obviously, sharks aren't those colors, but it might make it easier to understand. because it's hard to see, right? But yeah, I would have thrown the ability on the screen. You can just see the numbers. Right there, I just used my proto belt. This is super important. So 5 versus 1 here, right? The whole enemy team's there. I proto belted the whole wave. So now they're just randomly taking all these tower shots, right? Look at the pike. Look how low he is. I throw my shark in. It latches onto the Garen. I EQ onto the Echo, killing him, and then I escape with my E because I have so much CDR. I was able to get into a 5v1, assassinate the jungler right in the middle of them, in front of their eyes, like a magician, and disappear. This is what makes Fizz disgusting. Right there is a good example of why Fizz is strong and why you need to pick him up, honestly, because doing that is very critical. Because if you can take out a key target just before a fight or in a team fight, it's very, very good for your team. So we take out their jungler. What does that mean? Their jungler was probably their most fed person on their team, maybe besides the Aurelia. Yeah, he's got 10 kills. He's huge, right? We assassinate him. It allows our team to pick up the team fight. And then they don't have a jungler. We get the dragon as well, right? So super good pick there from myself, if I must say so myself. Echo is back up. So this is the kind of things you'll be doing on Fizz. I haven't done it a lot this game, but you can go to side lane. So right now, top is a good spot for us to be in because we're hard to 1v1. Because, number one, even if the enemy team are stronger than us in the 1v1, we're so slippery. Our E, our proto belt, our Q, it allows us to get out of a sticky situation really quickly, which means you can safely CS in the side wave and push it out. So, and it also allows you to stay ahead in XP and farm. So I am going to be heading towards the top side myself right now. So we're going to take the Scuttle Crab as well. Nice combos there. I notice our team's looking like they're going to go for a fight. So I'm just hovering. You don't want to go in first as Fizz because although you have that nice immunity with your E, as soon as you come off your E, they're just going to kill you. They're going to CC you down. So we wait. We linger on these fights. Once everything goes down, we go in. We get the chum the waters on the back line. We focus the Garen here. We're just trying to do some auto attacks. Kane's gone in the back line. He's doing a nice... He's got a lot of ability to dodge as well. We pick up the double kill. We go onto the AD carry. Auto W. We throw a Q in there. We get the auto attack. Finish him off. E on top of the Aurelia. Auto. Q. And there's the quadra kill. So a nice team fight there for our team. A lot of being patient with Fizz. Don't just go in and just int. You need to wait for your cooldowns in and out of fights, right? And because of your E, the cooldown it has, and your Q, and your repositioning tools with your Proto Bell, and your Zhonya's even if you need to go into stasis, it makes Fizz actually incredibly hard to kill. There's a nice example of wall you can jump over. Nice wave clear with our Proto Belt there. And there's the Auto W. So now the game's starting to turn around. We are still down on a... overall team gold, but I'm starting to get pretty big. And I've got myself a 25 stacked Magi's after that quadra kill. And now we're looking like we're going to go slap some people. We got 368 ability power right now, but remember we have a lot of on-hit damage with Ludens, and also we also have flat magic penetration with our boots. So that's all the abilities with Fizz. Another thing with the ultimate, I forgot to mention, it reveals the enemy. The lure holder is slowed as well. So if when you throw the ultimate out, whoever the ultimate attaches to, they're slowed as well. Another thing you can do is you can attach the ultimate onto someone in their team fight. So we attach it to the Jhin. And now he gets absolutely one-shot by my Shark. My Q destroys the Pike. And now we're just taking over this game, guys. We do so much damage. We flash, we get onto the Echo because he's more of a priority. And the Garen's just waiting to die. He tried to ult me there. I killed him before he could get the ult off. But if I didn't kill him right there, I Zhonya's it anyway. So I thought about that ahead of time. I'm scared he's going to ult me because I'm low. So just get ready for that Zhonya's as soon as you come off that Trident. Because you're invulnerable and then you come off, you do your damage, and then you Zhonya's, you're invulnerable again. It makes you super... It makes Fizz actually really tanky for an assassin, especially on top of his passive. Simply because of that... the ability to just go invulnerable constantly. Okay, so for the first time in this game, we managed to claw our way back in terms of a gold lead. So now we're taking Baron. It's safe to take Baron. Their enemy jungler's dead. Our jungler's splitting top, which is fine. because they don't have a smite. We don't have a smite. We take the Baron. Our top laner, who's Red Cane, is already in a good position to split push, which is awesome. So we get some things on the map as well. Just hitting the side waves, getting as much CS as we can. We still have an outer turret up on the top side. We're going to push that down with our Baron buffed minions. At this point, we just one-shot towers anyway because we have so much AP. And we get out of there, and we're going to back here to get some gold, to get some items. Let's see what we pick up here. So we get the death cap. And we finished our Zhonya's. So the build in this game was a Proto Belt into Lich Bane into Zhonya's into death cap. And we picked up a Magi's in there. Excuse me, dinner coming through. Good dinner as well. Steak and mashed potatoes. Amazing. But in some games, you might just get fed like I have in this game, and you can pick up a 25 stack Magi's. The movement speed that provides you as an assassin is disgusting. It helps with your getting in and out of fights. So if you didn't know that, Magi's, when you have 10 or more stacks, it gives you movement speed. So we're just going to go straight after the AD carry here. My team might be able to clean up the bot side of this fight. So we go straight onto AD carry. We come back. We're going straight for the Aurelia. The Garen's innately tanky. Pick your... And then we didn't Zhonya's in time for that Garen ultimate, which sucks. But you want to pick your targets. There's no point going onto a tank if there are available backline members. And I know Garen's not a tank. And I know Garen is actually building a lot of damage this game. But I just know Garen's harder to kill than the enemy team. So I'm going to go on top of the enemy team, get the kills, secure the game, secure the team fights rather, so we can get this game. Timmy does a good job there, pushing in the top wave. 80 carry picks up the dragon, which is excellent. Things are looking good. We're coming back in this game. We've got 3 dragons. I'm fed. Unfortunately, we lost 10 stacks of our Magi's, which is kind of crap. We are full build here, so I think I picked up a potion when I come back in 15 seconds. But yeah, guys, that's Fizz. That's all his abilities. That's what he's good at. Let me know in the comments section, what do you guys think of Fizz? Do you rate him? My early laning phase this game was a bit doomed. That I was thinking, I probably won't select this game. But as the game progressed, there was a lot of good scenarios to me to show you what Fizz is good at. And that's why I selected this game. And it's a really good example of how an assassin that can go in and out is extremely good. So yes, we did pick up our elixir of sorcery because we are full build. So now we're just going to be, we're going to try and do as much as we can. We're going to drop off on farm, obviously, because I'm not going to touch farm anymore, as I want to let my team get it because I don't need any more gold. There is a scenario in which case we die like again, and then our Magi's is kind of shit to be on 0 stacks. So I would sell it and get probably a void staff. Thinking back, yeah, they got some MR. A little bit of MR coming through on the whole team. So a void staff this game would have been fine as well, but we've gone full AP, which is fine. So again, I'm hitting the side lane waves to just push it out, not for farm, just to push it out so we have pressure. And then I noticed the Jhin was overextended. So I said, let me go assassinate the Jhin to cause a 4v4 fight. In that case, we win. So I'm looking for this bloody Jhin. I remember I couldn't find him. You probably could have switched to a blue trinket in this game as well. It makes scouting out better, or even a sweeper, because you are playing an assassin after all. Okay, so we land the ultimate. He attaches on. Didn't even need to ultimate. So there's the shark. Comes up and bites him on the ass. Kill the Jhin. So we noticed the whole enemy team seems to be going towards our top lane, our jungler, who's split pushing. So we want to try and join the team in mid to try and match the push, to try and get something done. Unfortunately, I decided to go get the Jhin, and it took me a while to kill him, which is a little bit unfortunate. The Pyke now has a shield, which sucks. So we want to try and block that shield before we do much to him. The Ari lands a nice stun. So again, I want to try and go onto the Pyke and the Jhin. They're my main targets, and then probably the Echo as well. So we pick up another double kill. We get a big assist on the 3rd kill that we managed to get. And yeah, you see I'm using my E to close the gap. I use the flash there. Zhonya's under the tower. We get ignited by the Garen. But me being a nuisance there allowed my team to close the gap and just stall for my team to get in and get the kill there. So E, Zhonya's, you're basically unkillable, which is one of the reasons why Zhonya's is an extremely effective item on Fizz. We just Q onto the Jhin, reset the tower aggro with my E. Easy peasy, guys. We're going to shove in the lane and we're going to end the game. And we're going to rhyme accidentally. That's Fizz, guys. Super fun champion. I got a couple models of Fizz behind me. I don't know if you can see it on my my dodgy camera, but He's one of my favourite champions, and I love to play him. He's a high skill expressing mid laner, and he's one of the few assassins I actually enjoy playing. A lot of the other assassins, I just think they're too squishy. But Fizz's ability to get in and out of fights, and basically his E makes him fun to play. Nice slow from the Ahri. Get our Electrocute proc on. Echo ults back, so we miss our ultimate, which is unfortunate. We get our nice E, auto WQ, he's Zonya's. So we're just going to wait. We're auto attacking the base. Unfortunately, we don't quite kill him. We're going to Q onto him to make sure we kill him. Garen's going to kill us, unfortunately. I'm going to ping to the team to take out this bloody Nexus. And that's the game, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what I could have done better. I'm not the best Fizz player in the world, but it's a pretty decent game, pretty fun game. Nice comeback from our team as well. Nice macro play to secure that Baron in the mid game after that quadra kill. So yeah, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you're playing Fizz, at the end of the day, it's night time. Just keep that in mind. Take it easy, guys.